A developing story tonight. An American college student freed by North Korea last week has died. Otto Warmbier was 22 years old. The family says the awful, torturous mistreatment their son received at the hands of the North Koreans ensured that no other outcome was possible. Warmbier was convicted of subversion and sentenced to 15 years in prison with hard labor after confessing a year and a half ago he tried to steal a propaganda banner. North Korea has not acknowledged whether or not he was tortured, but we do know thousands of people in the country who have been, simply for their faith. Joining us now is Vernon Brewer, President and CEO of World Help, a Christian humanitarian organization helping poor communities around the world. Vernon, terrible news.
It is, and our hearts and prayers go out to his parents during this very difficult time.
You have been there. You have been to North Korea. You know firsthand the kind of torture that happens there. Tell us about that.
In fact, Lauren, right now, today, there are 70,000 Christians, not just Christians, that are imprisoned in political labor camps. They're tortured, they're beaten, some with electric stun batons. Some of them are beaten until they too are in comas. Every day, 70,000 Christians are tortured in North Korea.
And why aren't we doing anything about this?
Well, you know,
you are, World Help is, but what about the UN? What about the United States?
You know, Otto's parents were promised for a year that something would be done, and nothing was done. And it's time for Christians to speak up and to say something. And it's no longer okay just to be shocked. Now it's time to get involved. And at World Help, we're working in North Korea to provide humanitarian aid. We call it Help for Today and Hope for Tomorrow. Humanitarian aid to meet their needs of food and clothing and medicine, and then spiritual needs with Hope for Tomorrow to provide Bibles. And we've provided over 100,000 copies of the Bible for North Korean Christians just recently.
How do you do that if people are being tortured for their religion?
It's done very secretively, and they are not printed in the country. They're brought in, and Christians take a great risk by receiving one. They have to keep it hidden. They have to worship in private and in secret, but they're doing it every day.
It is a remarkable testament to them to continue their faith under such circumstances. What do you think needs to be done to stop the torture?
You know, our own partner there in North Korea was arrested. He was charged with espionage, and they kept him for 240 days. He was beaten regularly every day, tortured. I can't even explain the atrocities that he went through. And he was finally released. He was convicted of being a follower of Jesus Christ. And when they released him from prison, he was a broken man with post-traumatic stress syndrome. And his life is in pieces now because of the torture and the oppression. As
will the family of Otto Warmbier. They will never, ever get over this tragedy.
For 16 years in a row, North Korea has been ranked #1 as oppressing Christians worldwide. They're the #1 oppressor of Christians in the world, and we need to pray for the Christians in North Korea. World Help is trying to be the hands and feet of Jesus on the ground in North Korea.
Vernon Brewer, President and CEO of World Help, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you, Lauren.